This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. A federal grand jury has indicted former President Trump on 4 criminal charges stemming from his efforts to overturn the results of his 2020 presidential election loss and the events surrounding the January 6, 2021 attack by his supporters on the U.S. Capitol. White House correspondent Jeff Murdoch and national political reporters Seth McLaughlin and Susan Ferriccio report the 4-count indictment accuses Trump of engineering 3 schemes to stop President Biden's election victory and remain in office. Trump is charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an official proceeding, and conspiracy against the rights of citizens. Prosecutors say Trump was so desperate to remain in power that for 2 months after the November election, he spread lies that there had been outcome determinative fraud in the election and that he actually had won. If convicted, legal experts say Trump would be far more likely to get concurrent sentences and recommendations for far less time than the maximum on each charge. Regional electricity providers tasked with keeping America's lights on are warning that the retirement of fossil fuel power plants should be delayed to give renewables time to catch up. Ramsey Touchberry reports they said grid reliability would be jeopardized by quickly transitioning electricity use from coal and natural gas to green alternatives such as wind and solar. The transmission groups, which collectively deliver power from energy sources to tens of millions of homes in dozens of states, told reporters that extreme heat conditions this summer underscore the need to slow the closures of power plants. More states are tightening fentanyl-related criminal penalties to combat the opioid crisis, sparking pushback from some activists and healthcare officials. Sean Salai reports at least 28 states have enacted fentanyl criminalization laws, according to the Legislative Analysis and Public Policy Association, which researches drug safety policies. Additionally, the National Conference of State Legislatures says lawmakers in at least 46 states this year have introduced bills proposing tighter penalties for fentanyl-related crimes. Not all states have that approach, though. New York and Rhode Island are among those that have decriminalized fentanyl and legalized safe injection sites for users. Missouri lawmakers have also decriminalized the distribution and use of fentanyl testing strips, which allow users to monitor themselves for overdoses. And finally, the Barbenheimer craze is playing differently in Japan. Andrew Salmon reports the summer movie blockbusters Barbie and Oppenheimer are enthralling American audiences, but memes that conflate the two have caused angst in Japan. Barbie is reportedly scheduled to open there on August 11th, but no release date has been set for Oppenheimer, which tracks the story of the American physicist who headed the World War II effort to build the first atomic bombs, which were used on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.